With GTA 5 continuing to dominate sales charts and GTA Online receiving constant updates, it's easy to overlook the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 is Rockstar's first game in 5 years. Not to mention the first is designed specifically for the current generation of consoles. I recently saw the game running and spoke with Rob Nelson, the co-studio head at Rockstar North, about how they're trying to make their open worlds even better. The biggest idea that kept resurfacing as I talked with Rob was the notion of persistence, the ambitious goal of creating a world that feels independent of you, the player. In so many open world games, it's clear that everything really only exists for the benefit of you. Scrutinize the actions of an NPC too closely and the illusion of their independence is broken. They're only there for you to interact with them. This is something Red Dead 2 is trying to remedy, and is perhaps best illustrated by the approach taken with Dutch's gang, of which you're a key part. One of the ways they're upping realism is by imitating the simple idea that the real world runs on a network of schedules, and so should everyone within the game. So every member of the gang is given a complex daily routine according to their role and personality. Some people are industrious, others are quite lazy. But this level of detail doesn't just apply to supporting characters, but expands right across the world, taking in the citizens of local towns. Doctors, sheriffs, shopkeepers, bartenders, each one has a unique routine, reflective of their role and personality. You can watch them go about their days. They aren't there just waiting for you to arrive, interact with them, and accept missions. Life in this world goes on without you. It's an evolution of something they started to do with Michael in GTA 5. You got the impression he had a family beyond the missions you go on with him. But Red Dead 2 is massively expanding on that idea, blurring the divide between authored mission content and what you learn from just being in the world. Another major goal is to increase the level of interactivity with the rest of the population, from key supporting characters right down to a stranger you'll meet on the open road. GTA 5 started to play with these ideas. You could deliver simple comments to people you met, but these were assigned to the D-pad, which meant you would have to stop moving before you could interact. Red Dead 2 has a much more nuanced and fluid approach. You now use the lock-on system and are given a range of contextual responses, each assigned to one of the control buttons. And these change as situations play out. You may choose to antagonize someone 1 minute before opting to defuse the situation as it gets out of hand. The way people will treat you will also factor in things like your appearance and body language. So if you're carrying a bounty or have your gun drawn, they may be more wary of approaching you. The ultimate goal is to let players interact in a much more nuanced way with everyone in the world, and have them react to you in equally sophisticated ways. Another area for improvement is balancing player choice and freedom with a structured narrative, and making that balance feel natural. You play as Arthur Morgan, Dutch's right-hand man, and so the gang naturally looks to you for money and food. Rockstar wants the player to experience freedom, but also wants those actions to feel consistent with Arthur as a character. It's a tricky balance, and the world adapts to accommodate the player's approach. So if you abandon your duties and go off into the wild, the gang will survive, but when you return, they'll acknowledge your absence and maybe be a little disgruntled. Again, it feels as if this gang exists independent of you. The challenge is to create a world that acknowledges your choices as a player, yet remains consistent with the story it's telling. Finally, one of the most striking things I learned while spending the day at Rockstar North was how much the production of Red Dead 2 has changed the way Rockstar goes about making its games. Since initial work began on the project 8 years ago, the company has gradually consolidated all of its studios into a single team spanning the globe. Whereas previously it shipped games made by Rockstar North or Rockstar San Diego, Red Dead 2 will be presented as a Rockstar Games production, a global effort. Think about that for a second. Rockstar has made some of the most celebrated open worlds in video games. But in order to realise the crazy ambition of Red Dead Redemption 2, it had to fundamentally rethink how it made this type of game. There was simply no other way to make this world. If you want to know more about the 45-minute demo we saw at Rockstar North, check out this video where we break it all down, or watch our detailed analysis of the latest trailer.